Alam mo, GSU, parang parang
Guimaras State University, Graduate School, Doctor of Management, Major in Business Administration. DMBA 400 brings you a webinar on development of organization and management theories and practices. Good morning, everybody. To formally open this event, may I request everyone to please settle down for an invocation to be followed by the Philippine National Anthem.
Inside your heart, lead me, Lord, lead me all my life. You are my light, you're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. You are my life, I cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding light all through my life. Lead me, Lead me, Lord, even though at times I'd rather go along my way. Help me take the right direction, take your road. Lead me, Lord, and never leave my side. All my days, all my life. You are my light, you're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. You are my life, I cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding light
Sorry for the technical delay. I know there are areas as of the moment that is affected with a huge power interruption. So once again, good morning or a powerful morning, everybody. I am Teacher Jet, and I will be your host for today. So join us as we tackle different insightful topics about development of organization in management theories and practices. So it is my honor and privilege to join and be your master of ceremony for today. Of course, with the help of our four mighty resource speakers. Yes, you heard it right, dear participants. We will be having four speakers for today, which means you'll be having four certificates afterwards or at the end of our session. So experts of their respective fields. But before anything else, allow me to acknowledge Dr. Early M. Martir, our Dean of Graduate School, and of course, Dr. Annalyn A. Hanaban, our program head. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, to enthusiastically welcome us all, may I call in our webinar chairperson, Mr. Michael M. Bellarmino, MBA, HM. Virtual applauses, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Jet. So, hello, good morning, everyone. I am sure all of you are doing well today. Then let me welcome all of you in this webinar about development of organization and management, theories and practices, supervised by our advisor and professor, Dr. Gina B. Montes, and organized by the Doctor of Management in Business Administration student of Guimaras State University. This activity has a goal to provide the participants a better appreciation and exposure to the process and best practices of the different organizations in relation to the development and management, as well as to equip them with the relevant industry knowledge and information needed to improve their own organization's growth, work processes, innovations, and employees' development. It is indeed a great moment for all of us to be here. So allow me to briefly introduce our eloquent and experienced speakers. Our first speaker is Dr. Mercedes A. Young, DTI or retired DTI Provincial Director of Antique. Our second speaker, Captain Antonio Bergete Jr., Chairman of the Board, General Manager Corps, Compass Training and Corporation. Our third speaker, so in behalf of Honorable Paulo L. Tirador, the owner of the Miris Hills Tierra Verde Leisure Farm, Mr. Albert Paduginog, the General Manager. And our fourth speaker and last speaker, Mr. Dindo Miguel Martin F. Salazar, Assistant Vice President, Boracay Resort Operations and Henan Group of Resorts. To our dear speakers, we are highly delighted to have the opportunity to learn from you. The collaboration of your knowledge, experiences, and expertise will indeed contribute to the field we have chosen. And to all our dear participants, always remember, participation, I think, are one of the best methods of educating. So never stop learning because life never stops teaching. Thank you and enjoy, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Michael M. Bellarmino, MBA, HM. Indeed, let us all make this day a meaningful one. And I should say a day to remember also. And at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, to give us her brief statement of the reason why we are all here and what we'll be expecting with this webinar. Let us all welcome our documentation and compilation chairperson, Ms. Myra P. Paradero, MMHM. Virtual applauses, please.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jet. Good morning, everyone. The Guimaras State University Graduate School, a center of advanced education, is committed to develop the potential of all educators, leaders, and managers through the acquisition of scientific knowledge and skills. Given the uncertainty of the situation due to the pandemic brought about by COVID-19, we need to respond positively. Learning and school operations has to continue. Schools and universities need to deliver what is expected from them and accept the challenges and turn those into opportunities. The development of organization and management theories and practices is an important factor in developing the organization. Thus, important topics will be discussed, such as, first, organizational development and HRM in the 21st century and DTI best management practices. Second, leading the way to professional competence. Third, the Miri Skills Sierra Verde Leisure Farm organizational development and best management practices. Fourth, organizational development of Henan Group of Resorts and best management practices. In line with this, the webinar is proposed to acquaint students enrolled in the current summer 2022 in the subject DMBA 400 webinar in development of organization and management theories and practices. Despite of the challenges brought by the pandemic in order to be updated with the current trends in this subject. Likewise, this event will help the organizers apply their learnings in the subject and becomes an active experience in working together as a team. Okay, that would be all. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Myra. And if I may add, dear participants, please be ample or kind with your responses to make this virtual room lively. So can I have your virtual applauses, please? Again, may I have your virtual applauses, please? Okay, thank you. And that's actually great. And of course, talking about our participants, let us get to know who will be joining us today. Let us welcome our e-program chairperson, Santa Renia Situbalinal, MBA, for the presentation of our webinar participants. Virtual applauses, please.
Thank you, Teacher Jet. Am I audible?
Yes,
Indeed,
ma'am.
a powerful morning. It is indeed a powerful morning. So let me acknowledge our participants for today's webinar from the different schools, state colleges and universities, private sectors and organizations. It is with great pleasure to be with you today. So as I call the name of your institution, may I request that you virtually raise hands using the icon on your Zoom screens. Okay, here we go. Aklan State University Ibahay Campus, Altobas College, Camaligan National High School, Capiz State University Pontevedra Campus. Wow! Capiz State University Bailan Campus. Cavite State University, Central Philippine State University, Charmen Berjamin, Clarence Maderobol, Colegio de Santa Rita de San Carlos Incorporated, and of course, the staff from Manila, the Compass Training Center Incorporated. Nice. La Trinidad Benguet State University. And of course, our delegates from Malay College, Western Institute Technology, our participants from West Visayas State University, Haniway Campus, West Visayas State University, Main Campus, and last but not the least, our participants and organizers from Guimaras State University. There you have it, everyone. And on behalf of the webinar working committee, may I remind everyone who were not able to register yet, please register in the link provided in the chat box. Your presence is greatly acknowledged. So thank you, dear participants, for being with us today. Back to you, Teacher Jet.
Thank you so much, Miss Santarinia. I really love that name. And anyway, wow, what a great number of participants we have. So overwhelmed with the energy of our dear guests from the different schools, faculty members, students in private offices, even public offices. Thank you so much for the gift of presence. So kindly, once again, give yourselves a virtual round of applause. Thank you. And now, let's start the ball rolling. May I call in our technical arrangement chairperson to introduce our first speaker, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Mainan G. Lubugin, MBA. Virtual applauses, please.
A great morning to everyone. It is my honor and privilege to introduce to you our first guest speaker who has unparalleled expertise, trainings, and work experiences in her field. She is a retired DTI Provincial Director in the province of Antique. Her extensive experiences include a 38-year work experience in public service with DTI, Philippine Information Agency, and Ministry of Human Settlements. A 20-year hands-on experience as lead co-facilitator for planning, workshops, trainings, seminars, focus group discussions, dialogues, consultations, and other events. A 15-year immersion as DTI Regional Industry Cluster Coordinator for Bamboo of Western Visayas. A 3-year consulting in the areas of project development and management system analysis and productivity enhancement program with the Office of the City Mayor, Rojas City, LGU. She has also extensive trainings from recognized local and international institutions such as German International Cooperation, the DO School Berlin Campus, Canadian International Development Agency, Philippine-Australia Community Assistance Program, Japan International Cooperation Agency, Japan Overseas Cooperation Volunteers, United States Peace Corps, United States Department of Agriculture, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, University of the Philippines Institute for Small-Scale Industries, Career Executive Board, Philippine Center for Environmental Protection and Sustainable Development, Department of Trade and Industry, and its attached bureaus and other public and private training institutions. She holds a Doctor of Education, major in Industrial Education Management from Capiz State University. She earned her Master of Commerce, major in Economics from the University of Sydney, Australia, and her Master of Management, major in Business Management from the University of the Philippines in the Visayas. She finished her Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Accounting from the University of the Philippines in the Visayas. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome with a virtual round of applause our guest speaker, Dr. Mercedes A. Young. Dr. Young, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Doki Maiden, for the kind introduction. Let's do audio first. Is my audio okay?
Yes, Doc.
Yes, Doc.
Okay. Okay. Let's try the share screen. Could you please allow me to share the screen? Okay. Can you see my screen now? Documented? Can you?
Yes, Doc. Yes,
Okay,
Doc.
sige. Sige,
Yes,
great.
yes, Doc.
Great. Slideshow. So once again, a pleasant day to each one of you. It's good to be back. No, let's make that it's great to be back. Our topic for today is indeed very interesting because being part of an organization, be it public or private, OD and HRM affect and impact each one of us. Oh, by the way, this is me. But please allow me to just put my mask on for health reasons. I have to be in a location with stable internet connection just to make sure that our session will be conducted smoothly. As I understand it, there are many scheduled brownouts today. So let's do the best we can given the circumstances. I feel greatly honored to be once again invited as a resource person for this session. Special thanks to Doki Roslyn Abuan for reaching out. And of course, my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Gina Montes for inviting me again. I commend the organizers of this event, the DMBA Graduate School Program, and of course to the management of Guimaras State University as a whole. Now, let me check. How many are we? We are over 100 the last time I checked. So here's the outline of my presentation. We will first tackle the basics of organizational development and human resource development. After that, we will discuss the 21st century challenges because I'm sure there are many challenges. And the third part is DTI best practices. I will share the best practices with the Department of Trade and Industry in general and how these were implemented or practiced specifically in the province of Antique, where I served as provincial director before I retired last year. Wow, last year lang, no? Parang kailan lang. September 1 will be my first year anniversary as a retired young senior citizen. Yes, I will remain forever young despite being a senior citizen because of my family name. Thanks to my husband for that. Then we go to the more exciting part, the Q&A. So if I may suggest, if there are specific aspects during the course of my presentation which you want to be clarified on, please note this down and raise your concerns during the open forum. So let's start with a short video about human resource to set the tone for today's session and also to make sure that we are somehow on the same page as we go along with our discussion. Wait, let me repeat that. Okay. How do I wait, how do I get out of this? Ay, sorry. Um, I have a problem. Do you see my PowerPoint slide now?
Yes, Doc.
My PowerPoint, you can see?
Yes, Doc.
Okay. How do I cannot see my PowerPoint slide.
Um,
How do I,
you can try to stop share for a while, Doc, and then share again so that you can see your PowerPoint po.
wait. Hmm. Guys, how can I'm sorry, I cannot turn off the other one. Wait.
I will try to stop the PowerPoint for you, the Doc, so that you can.
Pardon.
I can stop the
Please stop.
share. Okay,
Kindly
Doc.
do it.
Okay na po, Doc.
Can you stop the ano?
It's okay na po, Doc. I already stopped your presentation na po.
Oh, okay na?
Yes po, Doc.
Okay, sorry about that. Nag-practice naman ako, but you know, this is a cycle. I want that, ano, how can I stop that one?
Pardon, Doc?
There is an audio. Oh my gosh. How can I? Let me log out. Pardon.
Okay,
My
Doc.
apologies. There is the video continues to play. May I leave them? May I leave them?
Okay, Doc. So
I leave them.
Sorry for that technical delay. Again, I'd like to acknowledge Dr. Early M. Martir, our Dean of Graduate School, and of course, our program head, Dr. Annalyn A. Hanaban. Dear participants, please sit back and relax, and we will be back in few minutes.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
Doc.
I'm so sorry about that. Now, okay. Let me go back to my PowerPoint. Here. Goodness. Wait. I You see my screen now? Can you see
Yes,
my
Doc.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
Doc.
Wow, I'm sorry about that. I'm okay. My technical assistant is not with me because Hmm. Okay. How can I go back to the first previous slides?
You can click the arrow button below po, Doc. You're in slide 11 po as of the moment.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
on the bottom left
okay.
po, there are arrows. And then you can just click po, Doc.
This ones.
Yes po, Doc.
I usually have somebody helping me out. Okay. Okay, that's it. We viewed that now already. So, the opening statement of that video was this. People are the foundation that makes the company go from good to great. Why or how? I hope that the answers to these questions will become clearer by the end of this session. Human resource management is from being hired to fired and everything in between. In some situations, resignations is inevitable. So an employee may want to leave the company for personal or professional reasons. And this situation could be stressful both to the employer and the employee. Depende, no? So it can also be a case where there is retrenchment or retirement for those who work with the company for quite some time. So in 1969, that's in the 20th century. So Richard Beckard defined organizational development as an effort planned organization-wide and managed from the top to increase organization effectiveness and health through planned interventions in the organization's processes using behavioral science of science knowledge. Then in 2006, that's in the early 21st century, Werner and Desimon defined organizational development as a process used to enhance both the effectiveness of an organization and the well-being of its members through planned intervention. So very similar. And in 2021, I got this, I like this one. This is current, so 21st century na ini. Marie Stevenson defined OD as an interdisciplinary field of behavioral science research that exists to improve where people work. So among others, Stevenson pointed out that the science of OD combines industrial, organizational, and adult developmental psychology, and that OD improves existing processes and creates new ones. The idea is to understand how to maximize the effectiveness, potential, and capacity of both people and organizations. So the scope of OD has actually expanded through time. So for one, it has become a science-backed interdisciplinary field rooted in psychology. So there is also culture, innovation, social sciences, adult education, human resource management, change management, organization behavior, and research analysis and design, among others. So it has expanded. The scope has expanded through time. It now focuses on improving an organization's capability through the alignment of strategy, structure, people, rewards, metrics, and management processes. It also involves an ongoing systematic long-range process of driving organizational effectiveness, solving problems, and improving organizational performance. I also stated there, it also is one of the capabilities identified in the talent development capability mode. But I will not take the risk of playing the video because I might get stuck again. But in the talent development capability model, we just keep in mind the three domains: personal, professional, and organizational capabilities. So these three interact with each other. You cannot simply compartmentalize one, and it has to be dapat in sync ang tatlong domains. So one school of thought puts it very simply. OD, or organizational development, is change. OD is a critical and science-based process that helps organizations build their capacity to change and achieve greater effectiveness by developing, improving, and reinforcing strategies, structures, and processes. As the great philosopher Heraclitus puts it, change is the only constant. We oftentimes hear this. So what was true more than 2,000 years ago is just as true today. We live in a world where business as usual is change. New initiatives, project-based working, technology improvements, staying ahead of the competition. These things come together to drive ongoing changes to the way we work. Whether we are considering a small change to one or two processes, let's say in the office, or the whole system, system-wide change to an organization, it is common to feel uneasy and somehow intimidated by the scale of the challenge. We know that the change needs to happen, but sometimes we do not really know how to go about delivering it. So we ask ourselves, where do we start? Whom do we involve? How do we see it through until the end, until we complete the whole process? There are many theories about how to do change. Many originate with leadership and change management. Guru John Cutter, a professor at Harvard Business School and world-renowned change expert, he introduced this 8-step change process in his 1995 book, Leading Change. So this book presented mistakes organizations usually make when implementing change and introduced an 8-step process for successfully bringing about change. So this book is widely referred to by managers as the Bible of change across the world. Here, let's take a closer look at Cutter's 8-step model. The 8 steps, these 8 steps, are grouped into 3 clusters. So the first cluster covers steps 1, 2, and 3. The second, engage and enable the organization, is steps 4, 5, and 6. And the last 2 steps are under implement and sustain. So step 1 is create urgency. For change to happen, it helps if the whole company really wants it. May commitment. Develop a sense of urgency is important around the need for change, and this may help you spark the initial motivation to get things moving. This isn't simply a matter of showing people poor sales, statistics, or talking about increased competition. Open and honest and convincing dialogue or conversation about what's happening in the marketplace and with your competition. If many people start talking about the change you propose, the urgency can build and feed on itself. So step 2, form a powerful coalition. So here we need to convince people that change is necessary. This often takes strong leadership and visible support from key people, from the top management within our organization. Managing change isn't enough. You have to lead it. You can find effective change leaders through your organizations. They don't necessarily follow the traditional company hierarchy. They don't necessarily dapat si boss gid ang mauna. To lead change, we need to bring together a coalition or a group or a team of influential people whose power comes from a variety of sources like different departments, including job titles, status, expertise, and political importance. Once formed, your change coalition needs to work as a team, continuing to build urgency and momentum around the need for change. So step 3, create a vision for change. When you first start thinking about change, there will probably be many great ideas and solutions floating around. Link these concepts to an overall vision, a common vision that people can grasp easily and remember. So a clear vision can help everyone understand why you're asking them to do something. When people see for themselves what you're trying to achieve, then the directives they've given tend to make more sense. Later on, I will show you the DTI vision mission, and we can test its clarity. Then step 4, communicate the vision. It is not simply enough that you have your vision, you need to communicate it. So what you do with your vision after you create it will determine your success. Your message will probably have strong competition from other day-to-day communications within the company. So you need to communicate it frequently and powerfully and embed it within everything that you do. So don't just call special meetings to communicate your vision. Instead, talk about it every once you have the chance. Use the vision daily to make decisions and solve problems. You refer to your vision, when you solve problems. When you keep it fresh in everyone's mind, they'll remember it and respond to it more openly and more willingly. It's also important to walk the talk. What you do is far more important and believable than what you say. So demonstrate the kind of behavior that you want from others. Step number 5, remove obstacles or empower others. If you follow these steps and reach this point in the change process, you've been talking about your vision and building buy-in from all levels of the organization, top to bottom, bottom to top. Hopefully, everyone or the staff wants to get busy and achieve the benefits that you've been trying to promote. But you also need to ask yourself, reality check. Anyone resisting the change? And are these processes or structures that are there getting in the way, or are there barriers here? Put in place a structure for change and continually check for barriers to remove it. Removing obstacles can empower the people you need to execute your vision, and it can help the change move forward. Number 6, create short-term wins, create quick wins. So nothing motivates more than success. So give your company a taste of victory early in the change process. So within a short time frame, this could be a month or a year, depending on the type of change, you'll want to have some quick wins that so that the staff will see that you are going somewhere. Without this, quick wins, critics and negative thinkers might hurt the process. So create short-term targets, not just the long-term goal. You want each smaller target to be achievable. You break down the big targets into smaller chunks. Your change team may have to work very hard to come up with these targets, but each win that you produce can further motivate the entire staff and the entire organization. So step 7, build on the change. Potter here argues that many change projects fail because victory is declared too early. real change runs deep. It takes time. Later on, we'll also discuss about the law, the long game. Quick wins are only the beginning of what needs to be done to achieve the long-term change that we truly want. Launching one new product using a new system is good, but if you can launch 10 products, that means the new system is working. So to reach the 10th success, you need to keep looking for improvements. The last step, step number 8, anchor the changes in corporate culture, embed the change. Finally, it should become part of the core of your organization. Your corporate culture often determines what gets done, what is being accomplished. So the values behind your vision must show in the day-to-day work. Make continuous efforts to ensure that the change is seen in every aspect of your organization, even down to the utility men, the security guards, and this will help give that change a solid place in your organization's culture. It's also important that your company's leaders continue to support the change. This includes existing staff and new leaders who are brought in. If you lose the support of these people, you might end up where you started. So I will present the DTI vision mission goals later on. So this is the organization development strategy. This 5 phase. So we have entry, diagnosis, feedback, solution, and evaluation. Actually, you can have a look here. So from evaluation, based on the findings presented in the evaluation phase, you can go back to further diagnosis, feedback, solution, or from evaluation, just go back and review the solution and maybe come up with other solutions. So in the course of our readings and research, we might encounter the acronym OD to also refer to organizational design. So to explain organizational design and development in the simplest terms, the first step is deciding what is the purpose and function of the business. That is the organization design part. The next step is deciding how to maintain the purpose and functions. That is the OD side, organizational development part. For clarification, OD refers to organization development, and org design we use to differentiate the two. Org design is used to refer to organization design. So both organizational development and organization design are critical components of a holistic approach to business transformation. The diagram here further illustrates the difference between OD and organizational design. As you can see here, aside from being an efficient designer, the roles of OD manager or OD practitioner also include a business advisor, credible strategist, an informed consultant, and a systems change expert. Being an efficient designer is just one component. So what about human resource management? How does HRM fit in the picture of OD? According to Edwin Flippo, human resource management, or HRM, is the planning, organizing, directing, and controlling of the procurement, development, compensation, integration, maintenance, and separation of human resources to the end that individual, organizational, and social objectives are accomplished. Emphasis: individual, organizational, and social objectives are accomplished. And not only that, HRM is also concerned with hiring, motivating, and maintaining people in an organization. HRM focus on people in the organization. The World Bank describes human capital as the people's innate abilities and talents plus their knowledge, skills, and experience that make them economically productive. Human capital can be increased by investing in healthcare, education, and job training. So that's from World Bank. The scope of human capital covers performance evaluation, process involvement, organizational integration, system enhancement, competency development, and learning management. So let's dig deeper on the role of HR in organizational development. As you can see in this diagram, OD has 4 typical development initiatives. So we have strategic, human process, structural initiatives, and of course, HRM or human resource management, under which we have employee engagement, performance management, succession planning, and a lot more. So HRM is just one component of OD, the whole. Merrick and Rao pioneered the concept of human resource culture and propounded the OCTOPAC culture. OCTOPAC stands for openness, confrontation, trust, authenticity, proactive, autonomy, and collaboration. Later on, an E was added for empowerment and experimentation. So that's why it is now, we refer to it as OCTOPACE. Then there is this surprising power of the long game. The Chinese philosopher Confucius was right. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Maskin hinay-hinay lang like a turtle, but it was able to finish the race and came up actually the one who got to the finish line first because it never stopped. So think of your career as a pyramid where you get closer and closer to that thing you might call your purpose or your main objective with every role and opportunity. So playing the long game means taking the necessary steps now, not tomorrow, now, to set yourself up for a long-term success. It means not sacrificing long-term gains for short-term wins. So it's a marathon, not a sprint. So pace yourself. Not too fast, not too slow, depending on your pace. But the important thing is do not stop. So here we can see that HRM or human resource management starts from recruitment, then training, value, planning, coaching, retention, and reward. People are the most important resource of the organization. No? Many managers would say, our people are the most important resources. But this is very easy to say, but it is not always easy to translate this idea into an environment where the employees actually feel like they are the most important resource. O makarelate ka mo, when maybe some of the leaders, the managers, people is the most important resource, but then you feel that you are being taken for granted. So let's take a look at these scenarios. The boss says, people are our most valuable asset. Then the employee says, I will remind you of that when I ask for a raise. The other lady said, need to. And then the boss was like scratching his head. It blew up on my face. Saying that people is the most important resource can be tricky. Here, another situation. Alice, I've decided to add a resource to your project. And Alice countered, we're human beings. We're not resources. And the boss was like saying, would it help if I told you that resources are our most valuable asset? Na-confuse na si boss. And then we also have to deal with potential labor and management concerns. So here, syempre the boss is very influential. But when the employees or the staff have a union, they can have a balance between management and labor. So one of the challenges in HRM is addressing the elephant in the room. It is too big to ignore, but some managers oftentimes opt to turn a blind eye. Doon sa wala lang, pabain na lang. Dako ang problema. It's like a huge elephant. It is in the room, but it is not recognized. Leaders would say, well, I think it's about time we did talk about it. So the leader here now takes the time to acknowledge the elephant in the room. On the other hand, true leaders are not afraid to draw attention to the elephants. Sometimes there are many elephants in the room, and the true leader would address this concern one by one. Maskin very challenging, maskin sensitive, they have to address this. And then we have this idea. In the course of my research, I stumbled on something new to me, but which may be familiar to you. The ghost room, no, the ghost meetings. Well, these are scheduled meetings where no one shows up. Zombie, sorry, wrong spelling. And then you may also refer to it as a zombie meeting. Zombie, because nobody is there. So it's like a ghost. Why is nobody there? It is referred to as a ghost through meeting because the meeting was rescheduled and the participants of that meeting were not informed. So they were there and then there was no meeting. Then there could also be in HRM gender issues and concerns like gender equality, gender equity, and gender balance. So just a quick through. Gender equality is when people of all genders have equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities. So everyone is affected by gender equality, be it women, men, trans, and gender diverse people, even children and families. So it impacts people of all ages and backgrounds. We need gender equality urgently. What about gender equity? Gender equity here is the process of being fair, no, equitable, being fair to both men and women. So to ensure fairness, strategies and measures must often be available to compensate for women's historical and social disadvantages. Nakita man natin daw kung isa mas nakauwi ang sweldo sa mga lalaki. But we need to pursue also gender equity because this leads to gender equality. Now, gender balance, of course, refers to an equitable distribution of life's opportunities. So in an organization, it might be good if there is gender balance. The number of males and the number of females are somehow equal. We are now on the 22nd part of our session. Here we discuss the 21st century challenges, but I don't think I will again take the risk of clicking on the video. But CMI actually conducted a survey. I will share the link na lang later. You can click on it. Pero sa subong, I will not take the risk anymore. Marami ni siyang study. It studied 100 managers and so many students. And the finding was that what the employers are looking for now are for people who have management and leadership skills. That's the bottom line. And here I have presented the 21st century skills, and these are in three categories. So learning, 3 L's are categories, easy to remember, 3 L's, learning, literacy, and life categories. Under learning, we have 4 C's, creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. 21st century skills. Literacy, information, media, and technology. No, IMT. Under life, we have flips, flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. Example, sa una, imo resume importante, ginaibutan mo computer literate. No? Number 1, ginadanga skills, computer literate. So, it seems like it is now a given. The computer literacy is now given. So, what is expected now is a higher level of literacy on information, media, and technology. So digital HR is another challenge in the 21st century. HR digital transformation is the process of changing operational HR processes to become automated and data-driven. So to be successful, this metamorphosis should involve the organization as a whole. So poor resource management planning and lack of IT resources are some of the critical challenges related to digital transformation. So in terms of IT resources, lack of workforce and talent are two aspects that act as a hurdle to a successful digital transformation. So many people, managing people in the digital age is very challenging. Magpa-pandemic, remember when we were working from home, siguro gina-imagine ko lang problema sa aton HR. Then organization, this is just a concept where people operate on their own. They are isolated. They are not interconnected because of digitization. So in the future of digital work in the 21st century, we have new models of work. Di ba, nag-virtual na kita, hindi na kita kinanglan to be physically present. And then there are so many apps, evolution of apps at work. So many of these apps we use, no, mga enterprises, businesses. And then, of course, there are new devices. Hala, may mga tanan na lang, hindi ko na maano mga devices that we start to use to be at pace with the digital work. So best practices for HR digital transformation, we have strategic planning, digital transformation team, we need to organize that one. And then we have the management here and enterprise IT integration, organization-wide. And then we also have governance framework. So it has to be holistic, organization-wide. If we want HR digital, to be HR digital. So people analytics, maybe you're familiar, we all have profiles. If you're very active in the social media, you have a social profile. So in the same way, sa aton office, HR should have also this one, no? Having our data, like on a click of a finger, using the computer program. If you want to search for new entrants without training, if you want to know how many staff will retire in the next year, so you can do your proper scheduling, you can have your people analytics. Now, how to improve employee experience is very important. How we engage our employees is determines how dynamic we are. So we also need to focus on this, and this is the goal of HR. Okay. Just for last, let's come. Sa ini leveling off of expectations. So let's compromise. You do everything I say, and I'll say everything you do. I want that employee motivation. This is a motivation, huh? I want that employee motivation study by Friday or your staff. Is this employee motivated? So why working from home is both awesome and horrible and very challenging to HR. There are some. Working from home is tough. I have to coordinate a desktop, a laptop, and a handheld. Kaya experience ka mo sini, may desktop, may cellphone, may laptop, and all. I found mom. She's in the boardroom because she's at home and there's no quiet place to work. So she's in the boardroom, in the closet. This video conference meeting must be important. How do you know? He is wearing the shirt. Polo shirt, pero virtual. Huh. I know this has nothing to do with the marketing plan, but is anyone here good at algebra? I don't know if you have experienced that. Working from home takes away the challenge of avoiding the boss all day. That's on the lighter side, the funny side. So here, I like working from home. It's much more comfortable than sleeping in my cubicle. Remember, no interrupting daddy during this important meeting. No, naka-Amerikana si daddy, oh, pero naka-shorts and sleepers. That's virtual. I'm working remotely, says the husband. The wife says, you're not even remotely working. Maybe I don't know what the husband is doing. Sorry, I'm late. I tripped over a laundry basket on the way to my computer because while working from home, we are also do multitasking. The boss is saying, now that you work at home, you probably get a lot more done. Oh, boss, if you only knew. So those are the challenges. Careful, you'll upset dad's work-life balance. And I'm up to my neck. Can I get back to you? So, amo na sa una, we were so excited, no, with virtual, and then we become tired. Mental health issues are yun. No? Agree, relate. And this is very challenging for HR actually. How to balance, giving leeway for the staff, making sure that they are able to provide the outputs that we need. DTI best practices. We are on the third part. So here I have here 10, and this is presented in no particular order. Oh, here. Na-mention ko kanina, no? Dapat the vision, mission, goals, and objectives should be very clear. So let's take a closer look. Best practices. This is my best practice number 1. Clear vision, mission, goals, and objectives. So again, I would like to emphasize that this is the DTI in general with a specific application in the Department of Trade and Industry and Tiki Provincial Office application. So we have clear vision and mission. So if you see here, in DTI and TK, we have the template printed in a tarpaulin. So DTI made sure that all employees from the head office down to the regional and provincial offices, the regular staff, the job orders, and even contractors were oriented on this DMBA. So in DTI, we have a big tarpaulin. It is placed on the one side of a wall. It was symbolic in the sense that there is a constant reminder of what we are supposed to do and also what are our roles in helping achieve our vision. So our vision is a more inclusive and prosperous Philippines with employment and income opportunities for all, 2022. To attain this vision, our mission is for DTI to maintain the economic as an economic catalyst that enables innovative, competitive, job-generating, inclusive businesses and empowers consumers. Our core values are passion, integrity, creativity, competence, synergy, and love of country. How should we take care of our resources, our DTI people? DTI will exercise fiscal prudence to optimize use of resources as planned. As is unplanned, so we have the budget. And I would like to invite your attention to this part, which is very much related to OD and HRM. So this pertains to the people and organization. Here, people and organization. Develop a credible and robust HR system that will strengthen the expertise from within and promote a synergized organization anchored in a dynamic and efficient knowledge management system. As I mentioned earlier, one of our core values is synergy. So here, promote a synergized organization. Also mentioned here is strengthen expertise from within. So this refers to the learning culture of DTI. So the mindset here is that the cup is always half full. Na-mention ni kaya ni Ma'am, ni Doc Michael, ang learning, dapat may learning. Learning is from birth to death. Learning is from womb to tomb. Then we have our core processes here. I will not go through this in the interest of time. But here I would also like to point out that DTI acknowledges the importance of our external stakeholders, or call them our development partners. So DTI acknowledges that it cannot possibly attain its vision on its own. So we also rely on our development partners, our external stakeholders, for jobs generated through investments, entrepreneurship, and livelihood to ultimately attain our vision, a more inclusive and prosperous Philippines with employment and income opportunities for all. So best practice number 2, human capacity building. So although we have limited budget, DTI sees to it that a certain amount is allocated for hookup, human capacity building. We use the term hookup here. DTI has established strong networks and linkages with local and foreign institutions to the staff, so the staff can avail of scholarships, trainings, and seminars. And our training needs assessments are reviewed annually, and this cuts across the whole organization, top, middle, rank and file, and even down to the job orders and the contracts of those hired under a contract of service. One of the DTI PGS, no, sa performance governance system, sa DTI, is 100% of employees are trained. Kada tuig, may target nga mo ni. So all of the staff are given an opportunity to be trained. Here is a simple sample tracking sheet. So the names of the, so you would readily see kung sino pang kinaglan sa orientation. Who has undergone SBCC 101, SBCC 102, other trainings. I highlighted TOT, that stands for training of trainers, because in DTI we develop a pool of in-house trainers to echo what we learn. This is knowledge sharing and more cost effective when compared to having all of the DTI staff undergo the same training conducted by external service providers. Mas mahal. So example, I was blessed to avail of 2 foreign studies. One was for a master's degree in Sydney, and the other one was in School, Berlin, Germany. That's the latest, January 5 to 11, 2020. So we were lucky to fly out just before the eruption of the volcano on January 12, and before, of course, the rising of COVID cases worldwide. So this one, the International Training on Entrepreneurship and Competitiveness, was organized by the Development Academy of the Philippines through the efforts of Senator Lauren Legarda, who was back then the Deputy Speaker and representative of the Lone District of Antique. So best practice number 3 is compliance to standards. So DTI is one of the first group of national government agencies which got the ISO accreditation. Please note that ISO stands for International Organization for Standardization, not International Standards Organization. This is a common mistake. Sometimes I also forget. Of course, the Civil Service Commission has rules and regulations, and of course DTI and the Commission on Audit as well. So we have professional ethics, code of conduct from the civil service, and then the Commission on Audit, there should be transparency and accountability. We have our own, the DTI has its own internal audits, and of course COA, and then at the end of the year or mid-year, once the reports are finished, the COA conducts the COA exit conference. And an example of how we observe transparency and accountability is we shy away from having private meetings with clients outside the office. On one occasion, one client was very persistent to have a meeting with me, because if I remember it right, it was about the substandard steel bars in their warehouse, which were documented during a surprise inspection. So what I did was to invite him to the office, and when he arrived, I requested one of our technical staff to join us, and I made sure that the door to my office is open. So it's not a closed door meeting, it was an open door meeting, no secrets whatever there, and there was a technical staff with me all the time. We also have a no gift policy. I remember at one time I was at the regional office for a meeting and I got a call from the office of Senator Lauren Legarda. She was the congresswoman at that time. Her admin officer was saying that the security guard will not accept a gift basket with groceries and 2 wall clocks. So these were returned to their office. So I had to explain about our no gift policy, but had to make an exception in this case because she said that they are not our clients, they are our development partners. So ETI 6 has a computer program for online monitoring 24/7, including Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. I remember clearly that at one time, it was a weekend, the regional IT technical staff sent me a text message asking if I was in the office. I texted back that I was at home in Raw City. Then he said that he received a restricted uh, alert that a restricted site is being accessed. So it was a porn site to be specific. And I was shocked that they have a way of monitoring. So when I got back to the office at DTI Antique, I asked who were at the office at that time and discussed the matter. It was the janitor who was there who tried to access the porn site using our Wi-Fi. So I reminded them of the do's and don'ts of our and proper decorum. There is also random checks on the use of social media, Facebook, and Instagrams during work hours. So the staff are discouraged. So makita mo na what time na siya gina-post. So may random check. We use biometrics for our time in and time out, and also as a locator to track the whereabouts of the staff during office hours. So the computer program prints the DTR. So it is much easier for the staff. Also, it is part of our internal control mechanism. So there will be no tampering of the actual time of logging in and logging out. The CCTV. So DTI Antique was the first unit in Region 6 to have the CCTV installed for office security. When we first transferred to our new office location, we were the only occupant of the second floor and the building was still under construction. Hence, we requested for the CCTV and it proved very useful. One incident was that a technical staff complained that she lost 500 pesos, which she placed on her side drawer. We reviewed the CCTV, but it cannot be determined who took it. So by process of elimination, the administrative officer suspected our newly hired janitor. So we planned an entrapment. So on a weekend, when the janitor works overtime, the admin officer placed 500 pesos on the floor at a location where the CCTV camera can clearly capture. So to make the long story short, we had to let go of the janitor because he could not deny that he pocketed the 500 pesos since it was documented in the CCTV recording. The arrangement was for him to tender his resignation, stating that he opted to work somewhere else. This was much better than being fired by his agency, and at least he will have no bad record, and we will have more find another job. So during the exit interview, he was reminded of the importance of integrity, which is one of our core values of DTI. He was also given advice on lessons learned because of the incident. So here we have the paperless system. This is also included in our PGS measure. In relation to OD, this is a clear manifestation that DTI strongly advocates for the protection of our environment. So in terms of HR, the staff are trained to use computer programs and online encoding of reports and data to be paperless. So the staff can access real-time information on their net pay, remittances, leave credits, etc. Best practice number 4 is knowledge sharing. I also mentioned this under human capacity earlier, but allow me to further discuss this. So once a DTI staff undergoes firing training, they are required to submit a post-training report. So after my training in Berlin, the most recent one, I had to prepare and submit one along with the re-entry action plan, which was entitled Living Call-Up for MSMEs. So the Berlin training was conducted on January 5 to 11, 2020, and on May 4, 2021, a little over a year later, I presented the results and outcomes of my re-entry action plan during the Education, Training, and Capability Building Seminar culminating activity hosted by the Development Academy of the Philippines. It was a nationwide event with speakers from the LGUs and other government agencies who were beneficiaries of the DAP of their training program. So from our group, which attended the training in Berlin, only me and a co-participants, who is now a judge, were given the opportunity to present. I do believe that part of the reason why I was chosen to present was because of the DTI requirement to have a re-entry action plan and a full documentation of how the plan was implemented under the Living Color Project. Best practice number 5 is the coaching and mentoring culture in DTI. So top and middle managers were the first ones to undergo a week-long training on coaching and mentoring. This was sponsored by the Australian government. It was a very fruitful experience for us since we were trained on how to become a better coach and a better mentor. Our coaching and mentoring is both for our internal and external clients. By internal clients, I mean those within DTI. So we also have our DTI Academy. No, may DTI Academy where the staff undergo intensive training, and when they graduate, they are called Dalubhasa. For our external clients, we have, of course, we develop our MSMEs. We have the SME Roving Academy and the Kapatid Mentor Me program. So you might ask, what is the difference between coaching and mentoring? So these are, I will not go through this one by one due to time constraint. No, but the coaching and mentoring, they are both they are both very engaging, but my certain differences in terms of coaching and mentoring. Best practice number 6 is building partnerships. So if you remember our BMIGO template, I pointed out that the importance of our external stakeholders from the public or private sectors and the academe are very important. So public, private, academe partnership. So best practice number 7 is monitoring and evaluation. We do the best we can to observe complete staff work at DTI. So as you already may know, DTI is in charge of monitoring the prices of identified commodities. So complete staff work dictates that we maintain data quality in terms of accuracy, integrity, timeliness, completeness, consistency, and conformity. Complete staff also means that in preparing official communication, all the basic information should be there. The who, when, where, why, how much, and all of those information should be captured in the invitation letters and so on. When we do our report, we go through the pestle. Political, interrelated. I will not again click because I might have a technical problem anyway later on. Best practice number 8 is hiring, selection, retention, and reward system. So the hiring process of DTI is compliant with civil service rules. We make sure that if we do background check before the applicants are allowed to undertake exam. Background check muna, then written exam, psychological exam. We have at the provincial level and then at the regional level. In terms of the reward system, promotion is of course the best way to acknowledge the good performers. But it is a given naman that not all performers are can be promoted at the same time. So at the regional and provincial levels, we have certificates of recognition and loyalty or special awards that are presented at the end of the year during the Christmas nila, year-end assessment and planning workshop, kung Christmas party, mga gifts from the office supplies, if the budget allows. Then we also have organization-wide Mystical 5. So each region comes up with the top 5 performers. And these top five performers are pitted against the top 5 of other regions and bureaus and attached agencies of DTI. And then they pick out the top Mystical 5 nationwide. So may mga perks na sila, they go to Manila, the top 5 goes to Manila, and then may mga spa, kung ano din, they have their special treats. So when the staff have to resign for whatever reason, we conduct an exit interview to gather feedback on the employee experience with DTI, and here the staff are encouraged to speak freely and give objective feedback which are useful for us to further improve the employee experience in the future. Then number 9, health and wellness. We have a health and wellness program which proved on point during the pandemic. It was easier to introduce health and safety protocols kay nakakuha na dapat health and wellness, work and life balance, etc. In the DTI and TK, I think we were one of the first, or if not the first agency to conduct a session on mental health to cope with the challenges of the pandemic in Antique. We hired a health professional as resource person, and during the Q&A, we can sense the stress that the staff are dealing with. Then we have this group chat, which was a means to pull because we cannot meet in person, we have the group chat as a medium through which we are able to engage each other. Dira pa kami nag-pray for those who nagmasakit sa COVID or their family members passed away. We assign a staff to handle the prayers there in the group chat. So before the pandemic, we also have the provincial team building and family day. The team building is also conducted provincial and region-wide. Then we have the annual tree planting activity for the environment, and every year. Then the last best practice, the last but not necessarily the least, succession planning. Succession planning is very important. Kaya karon wala ka sa mapasahan. Also important is leadership transition. With succession planning, balaan mo kung sino dapat ang next in line. So, i-nurture mo na sila. And then the leadership transition is geared here, in my case, towards my next in the rank for a smoother turnover a leadership transition once I retired. I started to prepare my leadership transition plan the moment I filed my letter of intent to retire. It was dynamic and an ongoing process, not planning. There were many adjustments and revisions on the plan because of the challenges given the pandemic restrictions. So before I retired, I conducted exit conferences with development partners like councils and industry groups. And the first group that I informed that I was filing my intent to retire was, of course, my team in Antique. Now, through the group chat, nag-post ako, I would like to inform you, I would like you to be the first to know that I am filing my intent to retire. Now, that's the basic courtesy I owe them. For our development partners, I prepared an official communication addressed to our development partners, our local chief executives, to thank them for being very supportive. And then also to introduce the incoming provincial director who will be at the helm of DTI and TK once I retired. So I retired effective September 1, 2021, and the number of COVID cases was still rising at that time. We organized a health and wellness event called the Despedida Party on August 19. That was my 62nd birthday. So yes, I turned 63 yesterday, and yes, I am rattled today because we have a family event and I don't have anyone to help here. For the despedida party, we had a virtual acrylic painting tutorial in the morning. The theme was sunflower, and each staff was provided with a training kit. May mga canvas, acrylic paint, brushes, etc. for their hands-on tutorials. And they went home with a sunflower painting as a token and remembrance from me. The funny thing was that I was here in Ross City when they were there in DTI, Antique, because my family would not allow me to go back to Antique anymore because it was too risky. I actually lost a very close friend because of COVID. Similar circumstances kami. We are residents of Ross City and we work in San Jose. And she passed away 13, I think. Birthday niya, August 15. And she was buried August 15. So from Antique, diretso na siya dire sa cemetery. How sad. Very, very sad. The reason I am sharing this with you is to emphasize the need for us leaders to be creative and resilient, even during very challenging times of our life. Life and work balance is difficult, but it can be adequately addressed. We just have to be creative and to borrow the BDO tagline, we find ways. For my GSIS documents, would you believe if I tell you, would you believe me if I tell you that my pension was released by GSIS, even though I did not personally go to their office? Yes, like I retired effective September 1. Towards the end of October, I already got my pension. All the documents were processed by our HR partner, very reliable, and because of complete staff work. It was easy to reconcile the records with GSIS and DTI, kay updated, and all the documents were there. So, walang if yan nag-appear sa GSIS, kaya bako ba, inang danay, nakulbaan gibin, kaya magkanto sa ilo. And then, HR was able to process and I got it. So, in parting, I really appreciate the DTI and staff because they were able to compile video messages from our development partners. To staff even wrote poems for me. It was really a pleasant surprise. It was far beyond my expectations. We joined the virtual despedida from our home here in Ross City, and my son and I nearly jumped out of our seats when they played the video greeting from Senator Lauren Legarda. Imagine that, a video message from Senator Legarda herself. So looking back at my 33 years working with DTI, sometimes it was like a roller coaster ride. There were ups and downs, but lucky me, there were more and higher ups than downs. There were other very attractive job opportunities that came along the way, but I chose to stay with DTI. You might want to ask, why? So, well, I guess simply because the culture of the organization was a very good fit for me. DTI is not perfect, and there is still a lot of room to grow. But the good thing is that management is always doing its best. We exert our best effort to do continuous improvement. We invest in human capital and observe transparency and accountability. We hold on to the title of DTI being the agency of choice. So that ends my presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to all of you. I hope this has been a productive and fulfilling experience for you as it is for me. And now we go to our Q&A. I now turn over the virtual floor to Sir Jeff, or perhaps to our moderator, Dr. Sable Ann.
Hello, Doc Mercedes. Thank you so much. And anyway, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you for that very insightful and relevant talk about your topic, organizational development and HRM in the 21st century and DTI's best management practices. So we learned a lot from that, actually. But before we proceed to the next part of our program, allow me to first acknowledge the following people. Our university president, Dr. Lilian Diana P. Pareño, and also our vice president for academic affairs, Dr. Ruby D. Catalan. Once again, also, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Ma'am Merlina Omon and Mr. Ayan David. So moving along with the next part of our webinar, let us proceed. I know that there are participants who has questions about the topic and excited to get some insights from Doc Mercedes. So allow me to give the floor to Doki Saibal Ann A. Ramirez, MBA HTM CGSP, our e-certificate and e-registration chairperson.
All right. Thank you so much, Doki Jet, for um, allowing me to have the open forum with Doc Mercedes. Once again, thank you so much, Dr. Mercedes, for that profound discussion on organizational development in HRM in the 21st century. And of course, for sharing all of your best practices in DTI. Indeed, HRM plays a strategic role in managing people and the workplace culture and environment. At this juncture, I would like to remind everyone here in the Zoom meeting room that we're now going to begin the open forum. As a reminder, you may click the raise hand button for you to be acknowledged, or you can also submit your questions in our Zoom chat box. All participants are reminded to introduce yourselves first, with what school you or organization you are from before asking your question. So let us begin. Do you have any questions from the participants? Please do not hesitate to click the raise hand button if you want to raise a question to Dr. Mercedes, or you can send your questions in our Zoom chat box. All right, so we have our first question from Doki Myra from the DMBA, a DMBA student from Guimaras State University Graduate School. So Doki Myra, are you around? So I believe you have a question to Dr. Mercedes. You can unmute your microphone. Okay, so it seems Doc Myra is not yet in the Zoom meeting room. I will just read her question for Dr. Mercedes. So Dr. Mercedes, Mrs. Myra's, Doki Myra's question goes like this. What is the contributing factors of DTI in the organizational development of a certain company or organization? What is the contributing factors of DTI in the organizational development of a certain company or organization?
So earlier on, I flashed a slide where I highlighted coaching and mentoring. And I said that our coaching and mentoring culture in DTI is not only for our internal clients or the DTI staff, but also our external clients. Our external clients include micro, small, and medium enterprises and businesses. So for example, we share our expertise because the businesses, the business owners undergo trainings through the SME Roving Academy or the Kapatid Mentor Me. So that is where DTI is able to help them, to help their organization develop. So because we are trained by the UPI SSI, we have a consultancy course. So somehow we have the knowledge and the expertise to provide them guidance in the marketing, production, or OM, organization and management, and financial aspects of their business management. So that is how we at DTI help our businesses, business organizations through coaching and mentoring.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Mercedes. I hope that answers the question of Doki Myra. So we have Sister Marley who raised her hand. So I believe she has a question for you, Dr. Mercedes. Sister Marley.
Thank you, Dr. Saibel. Can you hear me?
Yes, sister, I can hear you.
First of all, Doc, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being so generous of continuously sharing your talents, your expertise to us graduate school students of GSU. Now, here's my just an additional input from you. Now, in the beginning of your talk, you made mention about some barriers. So in implementing organizational development, we cannot avoid that there are some people who resist change. They create barriers or stumbling blocks. Can you give us some tips to deal, or if not to remove, to overcome these obstacles in to change?
Okay. Thank you, Sister Marley. Individuals that we have our own way of doing things, di ba la? Kanya-kanyang diskarte. Sabi nga nila, different folks, different strokes. So, when we introduce change, correct din na, sister, there might be some of the members of our organization who will not willingly buy into our proposed changes. But if we are able to explain the importance of the changes that we have to make and how these changes can further improve the productivity and the efficiency of our office for the well-being of everyone in the office, emphasize again, we are introducing changes for the best, for the good and the best of everyone, of each one. Hindi man naman namin nga for the good only of some. It's for the whole organization. So once we are able to sell that the change is for the best, then we should be able to convince them. All the same, let's say computerization, digitalization. Sometimes hindi na ko sina iyan, kamudlay sina, damo, ano. And then we simply say, kung gusto, may paraan. Kung ayaw, maraming dahilan. So dapat mag-isip-isip, di ba? And then us leaders, sister, we actually need to develop the style, the leadership style. Kaya may mga diskarte mo na kung kaisa mo, this style might not work for Mr. A, but would do good for Mr. B, di ba? So you adjust whatever leadership style or strategy to get Mr. A. Dapat willingly, they will support us for our changes in the organization. Sister, do you have a follow-up question?
No more, Doc. Thank you so much.
I hope I was able to help.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc Mercedes, and also Sister Marley, for that very timely and relevant question. Moving on to our next question, I believe Docky Santa Renea is also raising her hand. So Docky Santa, you can unmute your microphone and ask your question to Doc Mercedes.
Hello. Hello, Doc. Happy birthday. Thank
you
Miss
very
Liza.
much, Docky Santa. How are you?
Fine, thank you. You are such a blessing to everyone, especially today. It's your birthday. Happy birthday
Yesterday.
again.
It was
Doc,
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Sige.
Happy birthday, Doc.
Thank you very much.
My question, Doc, is since most of our audience today are from the hospitality management program, or our students from different schools, what professional advice or you have any things that you can share to them in terms of the 21st century skills that you have presented earlier, that these students may apply or harness for their future careers?
Docky Santa, it seems that you are inaudible po.
I'm sorry. Am I? Hello, Doc Sai?
Audible na po, Docky Santa.
Audible na.
Can you repeat the question po for Doc Mercedes, Docky?
Yes, please. Please repeat.
Yes, Doc. Okay po. Doc, since most of our audience are from the hospitality management program, what professional advice or do you have any distinctive ideas that you can share or impart to our students in terms of the 21st century skills that you have presented earlier, Doc, that the students may apply or harness for their future careers?
Okay. Doc Santa, thank you for the question. The
Thank you,
soft
Doc.
skills, the 21st century's soft skills are very important. So earlier on, I said that there were three major categories, three L's: learning, literacy, and life, no, categories. So under learning, actually, creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. We noted in DTI, though the challenge and critical thinking, once they undergo psychological exam, um, we noted that some of the applicants fail in critical thinking. So that is one aspect that they might want to really harness. They can go to, they can ask Uncle Google, di ba? They can ask Uncle Google
Yes,
how to
Doc.
develop critical thinking, how to practice, and so on. In the life, under the life category, we have flips, diba? Flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. Again, ang CMI study, nga tong video tani, kwan siya, it emphasized nga do kulang sa management and leadership skills. So if our employers are looking for these soft skills, so dapat kita as students, we already map out our career path. No? So we are studying DMBA now, or masteral, or undergrad school. We develop these 21st century skills: creativity, critical thinking, communication and collaboration. And then we do flexibility, leadership, initiative, flips, productivity, and social skills. Social skills is dealing with people. Would you believe if I tell you I am an introvert? Introvert. Yes, I am an introvert, but because my work demands that I should be communicating with people, reaching out to people, so I have to develop this. Now, like when I was a student, I just sit in one corner of the room and that's it. But because my job demands that I be like this, dami mo do, extra, pero muna, so if you are an introvert, embrace it, but extend the best effort to further develop your soft skills, be a good communicator, be flexible, and have leadership skills. I think that is the most that I can share, Ma'am Santa, Doki Santa. They can
Yes, Doc.
actually log on sa mga sites. There are ways, may mga tutorials na very nice. Ako kanya, even at my age, I go there and still practice. So, half full. Our mindset should always be, my cup is half full. There is still room to grow. There is a lot for me to learn. Doc Santa, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, Doc. It's such a wonderful idea, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Doc.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Mercedes, and also to Doki Santa for asking that question. So we have last two questions here in our chat box. So I will go first with Doki Michael Bellarmino. So I believe that Doki Michael has a question for you, Dr. Mercedes. Doki Michael, are you around po?
Thank you, Dr. Saibel. So, hi, Dr. Yang. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Doki.
So, my question is, it is just a simple. So, as director or DTI director before, when you are on service, so with your expert and accomplished experience, what strategies or how do you manage how do you effectively manage organizational change in your organization?
I think the very first part is ginatakaan man kita, no? Kasi ako may mga the first thing I do is embrace it. No resistance. The more you resist, the more you waste energy. And you know that in the end, you will still have to follow because it is a directive either from the head office or the regional office. So, naka-mindset ka na, okay, there is this new rule, there is this new guide, there is this change that we have to implement. So dapat I should take the lead, that I would embrace it, that I would welcome it, with eagerness. Maskin daw, ano man man, with eagerness, so that ang message ko so that to the staff is that this is something good. Eh kung ikaw nga leader, makita nila sa imo nga hindi ka nagani uyon, naga ano mo na sila, echo mo na sa ila, di ba? But if you say, I am so excited. Do you know that we are going to do this and that? How exciting can that be? So this is what we are going to do. Do you have any suggestions? So asking the question, do you have any suggestions, or what can we do to do this, to implement this new guideline? When you gather their suggestions, no, their strategies, buy-in na sila because it is their suggestion, it is their strategy. Panindigan na nila, yes sir, Doki Mike, sa ako na lang yun na. Kung kaisa may, ay ano pag yun man, galing I do not show it to them. Because I know that even if I do not want it because it is a directive, because as a true leader, you should also be a good follower. Diba? So kung may directive sa HO, so si RO, embrace mo na. Sir Mike, where are you connected, Sir Mike?
I'm currently connected in Altavas College here in Aklan, ma'am.
Ay, sa Aklan. Oh, nakara. Oo, sir. Mo lang na, sir. Pabalik-balik it. And then, mga deadlines pala, sir. Mga deadlines. And then, wow, I have great news. I will tell the staff. What na? Ano to, ma'am? Ano to, ma'am? We have a deadline. Makinadlaw na lang na sila tayo. Rather, ay, ambot kami, deadline na naman. So, you see, the positive way of presenting the challenge or the change makes a lot of difference than having it in a negative light. Ang muna na siguro, sir, ako ma-advise.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yang.
Oh, sir, sige si Doki Michael, I remember Ina, you said about learning, no? Dapat ma-learn din kita. Correct yun na, sir. Sige. Doki Saibel, I think Sir Doc Mike is okay.
Okay, thank you so much po, Doc Mercedes, and also to Doc Michael for that question. So moving on to our last and final question po, Doc. So it is from Doc Meriche from GSU Graduate School. So her question po to you, Doc, is what is the most challenging role of human resource management? Okay, so Doc Meriche is here, but would you like to ask the question po personally, Doc?
Okay, thank you, Doc Saibel. Good morning, Doc Yang. I am
Hi.
Rich. Belated happy birthday po.
Thank you very much.
My question is, what is the most challenging role of human resource management in the 21st century that you have encountered when you are still in the service as DTI Provincial Director, and how did you overcome it?
People issues is always the most difficult because mga processes, mga reports, I think that's very easy, that's very technical. But when you deal with people issues, like why you have to let somebody go, no, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. But it is a decision that you have to make. So earlier on, I shared an example where we had to let go of the janitor because of dishonesty. No, but before he left, nag-exit conference, and then we explained why we cannot tolerate such behavior. Because everyone else in the organization knows that the janitor took it, and then if you retain the janitor, what message will that be? Pwede manggali, hindi bala? So the moment, immediately, sa ako na, based on my experience, misdemeanor should be immediately handled. Hindi nga next month or kung ipadugayon mo mabasa, ay, dumot ulit sa'yo. Diba? That when the thing happens, you gather all the information that you have about the situation, para nga balance, no? Diba? And then you make a decision. No matter how difficult you have as a leader, you have to make it. Kung itulirar mo ato, integrity man ba lang, DTI ko, muda, diba? So, people issues is the most difficult. like pala-absent gid ya, pasaway gid ya pirmi. Di bala do katalakan na. Kay that's the reality of an organization. May people dynamics in the organization, no? May kapasaway, do katig-agid ya, do katig-agid ya. So it is for us leaders to find a strategy on how to get to that person, on how to penetrate the wall of that person. So it's a little bit of psychology and a lot of prayers, I think. Okay, kanya-kanya individuals that we are, we react in the no rule. Amuni in this situation amuni there are so many factors. And amuna din na yang ako siguro very challenging roles ang HR. People issues. What if a staff gets ill, nag-COVID? Diba? It's a people issue. So sa amo niya daw automatic na yan. Pagkuha sa GC, makumit lang na sila. They are very much willing to help out. Kung 20 pesos manaya, kung 50 pesos manaya, basta everyone contributes to help out. Okay, siguro na ano sa sistema, And that's not only from the province, sa regional, may magmasakit dito nga mambal nga this person really helps. Amot-amot lang, pass lahat. No matter how small the amount counts and it is acknowledged. Ambot Doki March na answer ko.
Pwede follow-up question ng Doc?
Sure.
I'm just curious if you apply the job process or the aura before you finally decide for it.
Yeah. Yes, it is a civil service rule, diba, aura? It's a step by step. And then the janitor is actually not an employee of DTI because he is employed by the agency. There is no direct employer-employee relationship between DTI and the janitor. So si agency, but we told the janitor, you have to file a resignation to your agency, CC me, no, to inform me that you will transfer to another job. In that way, wala man siya bad record dito sa but we will not tolerate. Kung it's a regular staff, it would be another matter. It's gonna be step by step. Dito sa isang janitor, he cannot possibly deny because parang isa sa CCTV, ma'am, aragin pulot na niya, kagin butang sa iyang bulsa. Ginagin slow-mo pang framing sa CCTV. So he cannot possibly deny what he did.
Thank you, Doc. I was thinking that the utility was holding a regular position.
No. Through an agency, Doc Mertz.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Mercedes, and also Doc Merichip for asking that question po. So, unfortunately, everyone, we have to stop our open forum short due to time constraint. As much as we love to cater to everyone's questions, we can just save them for the next speaker. So, we would like to thank everyone for being so participative and also for being here. We appreciate your presence in our virtual event. We would also like to thank Dr. Mercedes for a very insightful session with you this morning. Surely our participants have learned so much from you today.
Hello.
Before I give the floor back to Doc Jet for the continuation of the program, on behalf of the Doctor of Management, Major in Business Administration students of Guimaras State University Graduate School and our DMBA 400 advisor, Dr. Gina Montes, we would like to greet you, Dr. Mercedes, a happy birthday. May the Lord continue to bless you with good health and happiness, Doc. Enjoy your day today. Happy birthday, Doc.
Thank you
Happy
very
birthday,
much.
Doc Yang.
Happy
Thank you very
birthday.
Happy birthday, Doc
Happy
Yang.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, good. Okay, so since we are done with our Q&A session and our open forum, I would like to turn the floor back to Doki Jet for the continuation of the program.
Okay, thank you so much once again, Doki Saibel, our e-certificate and e-registration chairperson, for spearheading our first set of open forum. And once again, thank you, dear participants, for those interesting question. And of course, Dr. Mercedes for the enthusiasm in answering those questions. So in this time now, let us acknowledge the time and effort of our first speaker. Now, may I request Doki Myra P. Paradero, MMHRM, our Documentation and Compilation Chairperson, for the awarding of e-Certificate of Appreciation.
Thank you, Doki Jet. Can we have the certificate, please? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Doc Mercedes A. Young. Guimaras State University Graduate School, Doctor of Management major in Business Administration. Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Doc Mercedes A. Young for the gift of time and expertise as resource speaker during the DMBA 400 webinar on development of organization and management theories and practice with the theme Organizational Development in HRM in the 21st Century and the DTI Best Management Practices. Held on August 20, 2022 via Zoom, given this 20th day of August 2022.
Okay, Myra, you are
Unmute.
muted. Oh.
The host, ang host nag-mute sa ako. I don't know. Okay, I think it's okay now. It's going back. Signed Gina B. Montes, ED, D. PhD, BM, DMBA 400 Professor, Annalyn A. Hanaban, DMBA HRM, DMBA Program Head, and Early M. Martyr, PhD, Dean of the Graduate School.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mom.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yang, and happy birthday.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Doc
Ma'am.
Yang.
Always, for having a heart always to help us.
Thank you,
Okay,
Mom
so-
Gina.
From the bottom of our hearts.
Mom,
And
always
enjoy-
my pleasure.
And
Always
enjoy
pleasure.
your celebration today.
Yes, thank you. And my apologies for the technical glitch.
No problem.
I need
No
to practice more. Thank you. May I
Thank you
leave
so much,
now?
Dr. Yes, I'm sorry. We still have our group photo op.
Okay.
Okay, so Dr. Mercedes A. Young, please to join us for a group photo op. And to help us do it, may I welcome Mr. Nolly BDS Jr. MBA, our e-evaluation chairperson.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Especially to our dear speaker, Ma'am Mercedes Yang. Thank you so much for sharing with regards with the industry. Again, would like to emphasize that we already posted information in our group chat for you to answer and make it sure that you fill out everything what asked in e-evaluation. After that, you will be receiving certificates for today's webinar or first certificate for today's webinar. Also, I would like to emphasize again that you need to answer the e-evaluation in order for you to get the e-certificate. Second is I would like to request everybody to please kindly turn on your cameras because we will be having photo opportunity. Okay. Smile, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Next panel, please. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Next. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay. And I would like to request all participants, except the organization together with the speaker and our advisor, on your cameras, and all participants, please turn off your cameras. We'll be having photo op together with the team. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, thank you so much. Back to you, Sir Jet.
May I leave now, Mom? Mom Gina, may I leave now?
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Always a
God bless you.
pleasure.
Doc
God
Yang,
bless you.
thank you.
Thank
Happy
you so much.
birthday.
Happy
Thank
birthday
you.
again.
Birthday,
See
Doc.
you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Okay, and to keep the ball rolling, let us now move along with the next part of our webinar. So introducing our second speaker, let us welcome our documentation and compilation chairperson, Doc Gabby P. Palacios, MD, MBA, CHA, HA. Virtual applauses, please.
Good morning. So our next speaker who is going to talk about leading the way to professional competence is a graduate of Marine Transportation at Philippine Merchant Marine Academy with 21 years of experience in maritime industry, sea-based and land-based roles. And he is a chairman of the board of Compass Training Center Incorporated. Let us welcome Captain Antonio B. Borgete Jr.
Thank you very much, Palacio, for this opportunity and for the introduction. Allowed to share screen. Okay. So first off, good morning to everyone, and great appreciation to be invited in this webinar. No, maraming salamat po at nabigyan kami ng pagkakataon to present the company, its organizational development and best management practices. Okay, to share with you how the company has started, no? Our humble beginnings. Compass was established in 2009 and was built through the shared initiative of Filipino maritime professionals dedicated in creating value and positive change in the maritime training and education industry. Nagtipon-tipon po at that time, no, in 2009, a group of seafarers to make a positive difference sa maritime industry in terms of providing services or training and education to our maritime profession. Compass started humbly its training with 15 employees, 6 training rooms. We accommodated barely 2 students or trainees per room. So we barely had 12 trainees only when we started. And through the years, armed with the shared purpose and sustained efforts to make the stand in the industry, Compass was able to establish the following. We were able to establish our core services, our locations. We have, the company has grown and had branches already. We also have expanded our facilities and more clients and industry partners during the years, and was able to add up our accreditations, our compliance standards. Our core services, following. Compass Training Center is offering training courses or training programs, not only for the maritime professionals, but also for the individuals or clients who might need our services in terms of education and training. We also have assessment programs, both accredited by regulatory bodies and tailor fit for the needs of our customers. And also research and development, wherein this made our company or provided the flexibility of our company in providing services. Our locations, we have 3 branches. The main is situated in Manila, Taft Avenue. And another branch which is located in Silang, Cavite, wherein where our safety training site is located. And in Iloilo City, in front of San Agustin Colleges, wherein its training safety site is located in Pototan. Our facilities, we were to set up a firefighting simulation building for the firefighting or fire-related or firefighting-related training courses. For sea survival-related exercises, we have a training pool, mooring facility that is to the training program focusing on the safety while the ship is being docked alongside. We also have a lifeboat handling lagoon for the trainees to be taught on how to maneuver using the lifeboats and rescue boats. We have various types of bridge simulators and engine simulators. Just like in the airplanes, they also have simulators there. Here, ship simulators and its engine, wherein we also have simulators. Cargo handling simulators, we do have that. Marine high voltage simulator and type-specific ECDIS simulator. ECDIS is a navigational instrument which is required by the ship owners that the training has to be provided to their deck officers for navigation. And offshore facility, we also, it is also located in Silang, Cavite. And our clients and industry partners, ship owners, both foreign and domestic, manning agencies, shipping companies, maritime colleges, government agencies, oil and gas companies, schools and universities. Just for the awareness of everyone or the listeners, we are not only providing training courses fit for the maritime professionals, but also the ones dreaming to be boarding cruise vessels. No, I myself has joined cruise vessels as staff captain and company training officer.
Excuse me po,
Cruise lines
Captain. Are your slides moving po, Captain?
Yes, ma'am.
In our screen po, it's not moving po. It's still in slide 2.
Sige, let me reset it, ma'am. No?
You can also try, Captain, to stop share, and then when you reshare po, Captain, just click entire screen po, so that any movement sa PowerPoint po we can see po. So sorry
Okay.
for the interruption, Captain.
Okay lang. How's that, ma'am?
We can see your slide na po, Captain. And yes, we see it moving na po.
Okay, thank you. So, to continue with the presentation, so again, these are our what we have established so far, our core services, locations, our facilities, our clients and industry partners, accreditations, and compliance standards. Our core services, as I've said or aforementioned, we are providing training programs, not only for the maritime professionals, but also for the ones whom are dreaming to be involved or be employed on ships, mga hotel crew, HRM graduates, tourism. No? The company is providing assessment programs, both regulatory or mandatory as per the Maritime Administration, and we also have the research assessment, which has made our company flexible to the needs of our customers or clients. So again, our locations have grown into 3 branches. This is where we started, the Compass Training Center Incorporated Manila, which is situated off Avenue in Malate, Manila, and expanded to Silang, Cavite, wherein our safety training site is also located. And our branch in Iloilo, the Compass Training Center, Iloilo City. And our safety site for the Compass Training Center, Iloilo, which is located in Pototan, Iloilo. Our facilities, we have the firefighting simulation building, sea survival training pool, mooring facility, lifeboat lagoon, full mission bridge. We have various types of simulators, not only for navigation, but also for the cargo operations on board cargo ships. engineers of various types, cargo handling simulator, marine high voltage simulator, high voltage, which is common already on board newly built ships, type-specific ECDIS simulator, ECDIS, electronic chart display integrated system, which is being used for navigation, and offshore training facility, which is accommodating personnel whom are dreaming to join offshore facilities like supply vessels, survey vessels. No, these are offshores. Our client and industry partners, ship owners, both foreign and domestic, manning agencies, shipping companies, maritime colleges, government agencies, oil and gas companies, schools and universities, not only for the ones offering the maritime courses, but also for the HRM and tourism graduates. Cruise lines companies, accreditations in terms of ISO standard, we are accredited by DNVGL, also accredited by DOLE, Marina or the Maritime Industry Authority, whom is regulating the shipping business in the Philippines, or the training services in the Philippines. Panama, flag state, we are also accredited by the Panama. Wärtsilä, a manufacturer. Furuno, NJRC, manufacturers. Marlins Approved Test Center. Pupito. And also NavSkills, Denmark, which is not here in the display. Our compliance standards, as mentioned already, ISO 9001:2015 certified by DNV. We are also complying to the minimum standards of STCW, or the Convention for the Standards of Training Certification and Watchkeeping, is established by the International Maritime Organization, the International Labor Organization, and the Maritime Labor Convention 2006. Performance to date, because of the hard work, community spirit of our people, a culture of caring and commitment to the maritime training and education has translated into milestones of service as a training center. Our data shows that from of our company's operation as a training center, to date, we already have trained and certified 402,649 individuals, 148 training courses currently offered, and from 15 employees when we started, we are now having 158 employees for all branches, Cavite, Manila, and Iloilo. Clients served 362 since 2010, and 6 programs, which is regulated by the Maritime Industry Authority, from which we also had been catering assessment programs for specific clients, manning agency. The way Compass, our best management practices, have shaped the way we do our business and how we show up to our clients and partners. In short, we put people first, no? Provide quality service, quality standards of training. The Compass Way, as a service provider, we adopt a people-first approach to our customer and our people by actively creating a desirable training and work environment that considers and fulfills their needs and requirements. Compass has been designed by the one who organized it, no? To be flexible on whatever needs there might be by our clients in needs in terms of maritime training, developing professionalism, etc. So many to mention. Our focus has been global. Initiatives and key developments are delivered to serve the demands of the industry and its role in local employment, international trade, and global economy. The continued partnership and collaborations with global brands, meaning manufacturers. Compass is very much open to collaborations with manufacturers or even competitors, and of course, the stakeholders in the maritime industry. Establishing strategic presence for the convenient Filipino maritime professionals and their organizations. Innovations and continuous improvement of the guidepost. Since we started operating, Compass has never ceased to innovate. Patuloy po ang pag-iisip, no, ng mga stakeholders ng Compass on how to further improve. Non-stop. We uphold our social responsibility as a service provider with the accountability and responsibility to contribute to the improvement of the maritime industry, the economy, and the community. Just to cite you an example, during the pandemic, we were all experiencing lockdowns. We were able to open our building to the maritime industry to be part of their quarantine facility. Pero wag po kayong mag-alala, na-sanitize na po. Our continuing commitment remains to support and contribute to the best interest of maritime professionals, ensure safety of life at sea, promote skills enhancement and mastery, to enable professional and career development for aspiring individuals, and industry itself to contribute to the development of quality and competent seafarers, foster collaboration amongst stakeholders and industry players. Tagline po ni Compass, as what was mentioned again during the introduction, leading the way to professional competence. Same as the purpose of having a compass, it leads you to your direction according to your choice. No? With that, maraming salamat po. That ends my presentation and I'm open for any questions. Ma'am, I'm giving the floor back to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Captain Antonio Burget Jr., the chairman of the board or the general manager of Compass Training Center Incorporated. So truly learn from your discussion about lending the way to professional competence. At this point, let's have an open forum. I know there are participants who have questions in mind about your topic discussed, Captain Antonio. So let's welcome our technical arrangement chairperson, Sir Anthony Y. Espanola, MSHM, for the open forum. Sir Anthony, are you there? Okay, I think he's not around. I know there are still areas affected by the huge power interruption. So let us move along with our open forum at this point. So the participants may post questions to our Zoom chat box. And also, if you have enough courage, you may also raise your virtual hands. No, and I will read the question, or you may deliver the question personally. So let us check questions coming from our participants. So for Captain Antonio, we have question coming from Dr. Roslyn Abuan. Are you there, Madam?
Yes po.
Yes, ma'am.
Yours, ma'am.
Okay, so it's still morning. So good morning po, Captain Bugarte. So my question runs this way. What do you think are the professional competence skills that everyone should acquire to be relevant in the 21st century? That's all po.
Unang-una sa lahat, ma'am, I think what is relevant for the 21st century as a competence is simply adjusting to the technology, fast pace of our technology, which I myself have experienced it on board. No? When we graduated from the school, hindi pa po ganun ka high-tech yung mga equipment on board. However, speak, no? Patuloy pong nagbabago. So, the competency that we need, stop po yan, we need to adapt whatever is there as our tools or equipment that we might encounter in the future. If I may add siguro po, pati dun sa culture din, because as you see, our culture is also changing, or internationally, may mga changes din po. It's very important to have that kind of competency, not only in terms of skills or knowledge, but also the flexibility of an individual to adapt to its habitat.
Okay, thank you po, Captain Baguarte, for answering my question po. So that's it for me po.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so may just remind our participants that you may post your questions at our chat box. So as your moderator, so can I ask you a personal question? Personal question, Captain Burgete.
Okay lang po, sir. Please, go
This is
ahead.
actually coming from my experience when I studied seafarers catering and stewarding. So I supposed to engage in seafaring, but sad to say, I have experienced gender discrimination during the application. I was qualified the first level, but when they noticed about my gender, I was disqualified by the second level. So, is that practice still exist nowadays, sir?
The discrimination nowadays sir, if I may, is no longer there. No, siguro that was a long, long time ago. As we speak right now, we even have female or LGBTQ facilitators in Compass, or even maritime professionals whom are actively seafaring today in different genders, no? Female, male. We even have female captains already as we speak.
I see. Thank you so much, Captain Borgetta, for answering my question. Sorry for annoying you. No, ng, ano lang.
I wasn't annoyed, sir, by the question. To share with you or to everyone, yung pong gender discrimination is no longer, doesn't exist anymore. No, siguro that was you experienced that. Correct me if I'm wrong, during the 80s or I don't know. Siguro mga 80s or 90s, sir.
It's early 2000, sir.
Early to 2000. Hindi na po ganon. I don't know. I cannot speak on behalf of the other money agencies, but hearing, I've known so many employers whom doesn't onto the genders of an individual.
Okay, thank you, Captain Antonio. We have another question coming from our webinar chairperson, Mr. Michael M. Villarmino. Sir, the floor is yours.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sir Jet. So, good noon, Captain. So, my question is, what is the importance of professional competencies for career development?
For career development, sir, we must all accept the fact that what is provided in schools are only foundations. No? Kahit saang larangan in any course, I believe, these are just foundations. It's still up to the individual to improve himself in terms of competency in relation to whatever he has learned from school. As I've said, our technology today is really fast pacing. And the advancement which is being introduced in schools might no longer be applicable by the time you graduate. So you will have to adjust. Importante po, it's very significant, the competency development for professionals nowadays. Have I satisfied your question, sir?
Yes, Captain. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so thank you, Sir Michael. We have another question coming from our chat box, Captain Antonio. And that question is coming from Ma'am Meritche. So in your field of expertise, how do you influence people in a situation with conflicting agendas? I think she's around. Ma'am Meritche, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Doc Jeff. Good morning, Sir Captain Antonio.
Yes, ma'am.
I am Richie. Already, Doc Jeff already read my question. Can I ask again, or did you get that?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. My question is, in your field of expertise, how do you influence people in a situation with conflicting agendas?
How do I influence people?
In a situation with conflicting agendas.
Okay, in a situation with conflicting agendas.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am. Am I correct, ma'am? To influence people in conflicting agendas, in the maritime industry, in the field where we are, our company is a stakeholder of, we follow standards only. So regardless of whatever agenda is there is always standards, no? May guidelines lagi. So we always them to that standard in order for them to agree. No? Even during our meetings, there is always what we call don't be afraid to disagree, but we must always come to an agreement. No, just what our speaker has said. No, never leave anything which is undecided. Whatever the issue there will be, we need to come up with a decision. No, it might be not as effective a decision, but the important thing there is that you came up with a decision, no matter what. Have I satisfied the question, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Thank you for such a brilliant answer of yours. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma'am Merit. And we also have a question coming from Ma'am Joanna Havillana.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Hi, Captain. Good afternoon. So my question is, as an international watcher,
Ma'am Jo, kindly louden your voice, please.
I'm sorry. Am I audible, Sir Jet?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Captain, my question is, as an international voyager, what are the key points should students consider to be globally competitive?
Come again, ma'am. Hindi ko narinig yung first part.
What are the key points should students consider to be globally competitive?
Okay. First, of course, before while being in school, no, as I've said, we are provided with the foundation, no, and in order for you to be considered as competitive in our no, in the maritime industry, it is the individual's responsibility to first identify his or her weakness and then focus on that for them to strengthen it. And how would you do that? We have so many available trainings, seminars, or even higher educations in the field already. Meron na. Now, we also, there is also an available guideline on which part of competency you are to focus. Kung ano ang gustong mong piliin. No? Just like in the maritime industry, if you would want to be a captain, officer on board a vessel, focus on that competency. And there is always an international guideline for such. One very good example is the STCW. Ito yung minimum standard, which is written in simple language, which could everyone understand. No? Even in our institution, in order for us as competent, we also have standards available. No? The regulatory bodies, they have set standards. All we need to follow to conform to that standard or even go beyond para maging ka. Have I satisfied your question, ma'am?
Yes, Captain. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Joanna. Cap Burgete, we have a question from Altavas College, BSHM4 student. Why do we really need competencies in organization? Again, sir, why do we really need competencies in the organization?
Okay, the reason why we need competencies in the organization because our organization is competing in its specific field of expertise. No, also the reason why companies have designed their programs for their employees and the stakeholders is for the whole organization to be competent. No? You will have to arm the organization with manpower and as competent as it should be in order for that organization to become competent also in their field. As I was saying, no, para maging competent ang isang organization, it has to be armed with manpower resource whom should also be competent. The reason why organizations nowadays or companies nowadays are looking forward to the each and every career path of their staff, their employees, that looking onto the strengths and weaknesses that has to be addressed and with trainings in order for them to reach that competency. Kasi ang nag po dito yung organization, no? So for you to address the for you to bring your organization into that competency, i-address mo muna yung competency nung kanyang yung mga taong gumagalaw sa organization. Okay? So that is the reason why competency very significant in whichever field, I believe, no? Kahit saan sigurong field na maritime industry.
Okay, so I think that answers the question of our students coming from Altavas College, which are the BSHM4 students. So we have another question coming from Mr. Nolly B. Diaz Jr., Cap Burgete. Sir
Yes, sir.
Nolly, the floor is yours.
Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
One moment po. My question is, am I audible po?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Morning, everyone. Cap, here is my question. As a trainer, what are those steps would you undertake to make the long training session not boring to the trainers, to the training? And what are the different methods you could use in training to the What are the different methods you could use in the trainings for the employees.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir, for that question. Unahin muna natin yung una, no? How would you prepare instructors or facilitators? Tama po ba? In order for them to conduct training courses? Well,
Yes, sir.
Qualifications, we have set qualifications for the subject matter experts in order for them to conduct training courses or facilitate training programs, as we call it. No, we have what we call 6.09, IMO Model Course 6.09, or which is known as the course. No? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng seafarer could transfer knowledge or competency. So we have this training, lengthy training course that them knowledge and skill in order for them to transfer whatever expertise they have. No, the instructor's course, and then for the assessments, we have the IMO Model Course 3.10. 3.1, 1.3. 3.12, sorry, 3.12 or 312, which is the assessor's course, wherein they will be taught on how to develop assessment materials, no, mga academic-inclined facilitators are the ones handling these courses. Tuturo mga expertise in their individual fields on how to conduct assessments, how to prepare materials. And then lastly, the 6.10 or the simulator instructor and assessor's course. So marami po, sa madaling salita, maraming mga training courses that could help an individual to become a training facilitator. No? At yung pangalawa niyong tanong, nakalimutan ko na po. If you won't mind it.
Sir Nolly, are you still there? Cap, I think it's how will you make the long training not boring?
Okay.
Okay.
Kasama din po doon sa instructor's course 6.09, wherein the attention span of a listener, no? Lahat dinidiscuss gaano katagal yung attention span ng listener or ng trainee, wherein you will have to inject icebreakers, things like that, no? And siguro the way of delivering your syllabus or the way you deliver your course, no, yung lecture, the instructor's course will teach you on how to teach the class, no? Classroom management, kasama po lahat yon para hindi po maging boring. Pati po yung voice modulation, kasama din po yon. Hindi pwedeng masyadong consistent yung boses mo. Minsan kailangan mahina, minsan kailangan malakas kung kinakailangan. Okay? Sir?
I think that satisfies Sir Nolly's question, or Sir Nolly, Captain Borget. We have another question from our student guests, and the name was Joy. Her question was, would like to ask. Okay, thank you, Sir Nolly. she would like to ask if makakasampa rin sa barko yung mga HM and tourism graduates. Meron po kasi na-graduate sila ng HM. Una pong thinking nila is sa restaurant po magtatrabaho. Not all but mostly. They don't know na pwede rin po pala sila mag-on board. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir. If I may, no? Onboard cruise ships, we have different departments there, same as what we have in hotels on land. We have the reception department, the hotel department. We even have entertainment department. No, kahit yung mga singers, banda, which by the cruise director. Not only for the maritime professionals, as I've mentioned earlier during my presentation, even the hotel restaurant management graduates, as long as or provided you have completed the minimum requirement for marina for you to be issued a seaman's book. So, importante po yung seaman's book, not only the passport, for you to join cruise vessels. Sa tourism, we have cruise department also, which is headed by the cruise manager. No? Marami po kahit culinary, we have chefs, we have maitre d' sa restaurant, we have bartenders, bar managers. So all sorts of jobs that is applicable for hotels is also demanded by cruise vessels, yung cruise lines industry. Pwede po. Yung mga welders nga po they have special skills, but it is also being hired on board vessels. No? Utilities. Meron din po tayong utilities. Housekeepers, we have that also. Okay?
Okay, and if I may add, Captain Borgete, so to HM and tourism graduates, you actually have the best of both sea and land opportunities. No? So thank you for that question, Joy, one of our student guests. I think we have another question coming from Miss Azel Arsenas. Are you around, madam?
Yes, sir. Good noon, everyone. Okay, sir, my question is all about leadership skills. So what is the most important leadership skills and what quality makes a good leader? Captain?
Okay. First, to be a good leader, you should not focus on performance only, or the output coming from your subordinate. You will also have to be concerned of their welfare. No? Hindi being a leader is not some dictators are effective in what they are doing, but the leader always thinks not only the performance or the output of a subordinate, but also the welfare of his downlines. So palagay ko, I've already answered that question, ma'am.
Yes, Captain. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Azel. Sir, we have another question from Myra Paradero. Ma'am, go ahead.
Hello, Captain. Good noon.
Good noon, ma'am.
Okay, my question is a very practical question and reality gid siya, Cap, no? But as one of the leading marine or maritime training center, Cap, How
ma'am.
do you address those concerns with regards sa mga seafarers, especially mga present situation, especially on board the ship, like mga racial discrimination or some issues which between mga full crew and with a different nationality? I am very curious, Cap, because you're a captain. That is my question. Thank you.
Well, siguro I can only share what I've experienced, no? Again, I cannot.
I didn't understand that.
So again, I cannot speak on behalf of the other leaders or captains. In my experience, we have to set guidelines for all the staff on board the vessel regarding discriminations or even gender inequalities. Kung malinaw po sa lahat yon and everyone has been briefed, palagay ko maiiwasan yon. And then again, your other question is
How do you address such situation kung nangyayari yung mga ganyan, Kap? Paano mo ina-address yun sa mga, halimbawa, sa mga employees, mga tao mo?
yes, ma'am. As a maritime training center, we can always come up with a training program wherein the objective is to educate people on how to adapt to the present situation of ours. No, we have actually yung sexual harassment. We are offering that. No, Data Privacy Act, or even interracial discrimination. To blend with other nationalities. We also offer that. We have subject matter experts delivering this kind of training programs. Syempre, for us to address is to put guidelines doon sa workplace, but it is still up to the individuals if they are to change or not. What we could do is only to open their eyes na ito mali, ito tama, but for them to follow will always be up to the individual. Okay. Now, we also have disciplinary actions, if I may, no? Disciplinary actions that if in case the individual or the employee has violated whatever regulation has been set by the company, we'll have to go through that process. May mga proseso naman po. But as I've said, nowadays companies have opened their minds and have stopped discriminating genders anymore.
I think, Kap, hindi lang man siguro sa gender, no? Ang present situation, minsan, like, yung mga kagaya, mga suicidal attempt or may nagsusuicide sa barko. So,
Yes,
ano po yung nangyayari doon if ever gawin po yun ng isang crew po sa barko? Ano po yung counterpart ng agency po or ng company as a support?
Okay. As a support, actually, the manning agencies nowadays are providing psychological evaluations doon sa mga prospective candidates to be employed on board. And the International Maritime Industry, or the Maritime Organization or International Maritime Organization, the IMO, has already set limits in terms of lengths of contracts ng ating mga seafarers. When they studied the root cause of this behavior ng seafarers, no, yung mga suicidal attempts or becoming violent, is most especially if their contract is about to end already. Nagiging violent na, gusto ng ilan para makauwi, no? Well, we also are having programs not only while they are on board, but even before they come on board the vessel. No? Maingat na ini-evaluate talaga ang individual in terms of mental health, no? At saka yung physical health. Kaya seafarers, before boarding the vessels, they do not only undergo physical examination, but also neuropsychiatric exams para masukat din yung kanilang threshold pagdating doon sa mga problema. Kasi hindi talaga natin maiwasan, ma'am, na while a seafarer is on board, he'll be having problems from home. No? Most especially today, na yung technology natin, pagka may connection, ayan na, updated na si seafarer. Good or bad news, madali na seafarer. And these are the causes, or one of the causes or factors that could change the behavior or worsen the behavior of a seafarer. Kahit siguro sa office, ma'am, ganun din. No? May mga tao rin problematic. So, meron naman tayong emergency dispatch if in case na mag-misbehave si seafarer, they can easily be sent home for evaluation. No? Pati yung mga manning agencies, may mga programs na rin po.
Okay. Thank you po, Kap.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Myra. And of course, thank you so much, Captain Burguete. I think we don't have enough time, and that ends our open forum and this session. At this point, may I call in Madam Azel M. Arsenas, MHM, our e-program chairperson, for the awarding of e-certificate of appreciation to Captain Burguete. Ma'am?
Yes, Sir Jet, thank you so much. Okay, for our e-certificate, Guimaras State University, Graduate School, Doctor of Management, major in Business Administration, Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Captain Antonio Burguete Jr. for the give of time and expertise as resource speaker during the DMBA 400 webinar on development of organization and management theories and practice with a team, leading the way to professional competence, held on August 20, 2022 via Zoom, given this 20th day of August 2022. Signed, Michael M. Bellarmino, MBA HM, our webinar chairperson. Signed, Roslyn G. Abuan, MBA, webinar co-chairperson. And signed, Dr. Annalyn A. Hanaban, DMBA program head. And signed, Dr. Early M. Martyr, Dean of Graduate School. And of course, Dr. Gina B. Montes, our DMBA 400 professor. Thank you.
Thank you very much po, ma'am. Really very much appreciative of having been invited to present our company to this webinar. organized by the Guimaras State University. Maraming salamat po on behalf of the whole company. Din po sa lahat ng mga schools na nag-attend, kay our chairperson, si Sir Bilarmino, si Miss Abuan, si Doc Montes, si Doc Hanaban, and si Martir. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng signatories ng certificate. Thank you po ulit. Wala pong pasasalamat.
Thank you so much, Kap. Thank
Thank you.
you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you so much, Captain Burguete. Please hold on, sir, for a group photo op, and that is to be headed by our evaluation chairperson, Mr. Nolly B. Diaz Jr., MBA.
Okay, thank you so much, Captain, for sharing your knowledge and expertise with regards with your topic. At this juncture, I would like to announce to all our group chat, because we already posted the evaluation, and make sure that you answer the evaluation in order for you to receive the second certificate for today's webinar. And also, I would like to request everybody to please kindly turn on all their cameras for the photo opportunity together with our advisor and our dear speaker. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Next, please. 1, 2, 3, smile. Next. 1, 2, 3, smile. Last one is 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you so much, participants. Please kindly turn off your cameras, and please stay turned on your cameras. All organizing committee together with our speaker and our advisor. We will be having photo op. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. One more time. 1, 2, 3, smile, everybody. Thank you so much. Back to you, Sir Jet.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Nolly Diaz. And I know that everybody is a bit hungry. Thank you once again, Captain Burguete. It's nice to be listening to you. So I know that everybody is a bit hungry now, but may I just remind our participants that the link for our e-evaluation for our first and second speaker is available at our Zoom chat box. You have 30 minutes, a lunch break, and make sure to be back after that. So this ends our first session for this webinar. I'll be seeing you once again afterwards. Enjoy your lunch, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Now, sir.
Thank you so much, Kap. God bless you more.
Thank you. Thank.
Please take your lunch so that we can resume at 1 o'clock. And if possible, we can recruit for more attendees